Hi, it's Lindsay. Please make yourself comfy and take a seat. So I'm making this video because I just saw 8th grade Bo Burnham's new movie and oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so honest and funny and real and uncomfortable and comforting at the same time in a weird way. Bo Burnham did a fantastic job writing and directing this movie, and Elsie Fisher is amazing. She's so good. Something that I noticed when I was watching this movie is that it was a little bit similar to my middle school experience. It was basically my middle school experience except with less phones, because the iPhone had just come out in like 7th grade at this time. I was watching this movie and I'm just deeply relating to everything, so I feel like maybe I should reflect on my middle school experience for you all for this video. Here's what it was like going to middle school in the 2000s. I was an 8th grader from August 2007 through June 2008. So I was in 8th grade when Crank That Soldier Boy became a huge song. Breaking Bad, Big Bang Theory, and Keeping Up with the Kardashians all aired their first seasons. The B-Movie came out in theaters. Whoopi Goldberg joined The View. This viral clip with Miss South Carolina. Someone threw a shoe at George W. Bush during a press conference. And Jamie Lynn Spears got pregnant. Now, when this happened, I hadn't gotten the birds and the bees talk, but that's like a whole other topic for a whole other video. If I just made you consider joining AARP, you're welcome. So back to my own personal middle school experience. I went to a private school, so my 8th grade class had no more than 30 kids in it, so if you wanted to disappear into nothingness like Back to the Future, that was not happening. So like I said earlier, the iPhone was still pretty new, so like not a lot of kids had it except for the ones who bullied their parents into getting it for them. But in middle school, I had a flip phone called the Voyager. It was actually pretty cool at the time. So the phone originally looked like this, but then if you wanted to text like this, you had to like flip it open, and it was like a whole like maneuver. So my parents got me a phone when I was 13 so they could contact me and whatnot. I begged my parents not to get me a phone. Here's why. Even at 13, I realized how often I misplaced things. I knew myself well enough back then that I knew that I can't keep track of any of my belongings. I misplaced a toothbrush and just did not straight up brush my teeth for 4 days. So I begged them to please don't get me a phone. It was like they were trying to get me to eat raw Brussels sprouts. But I got one anyway. Promptly lost it at church, Target, my bedroom twice. But the one time I remember the most vividly of me losing my own phone was when I was at Disneyland. I was riding this Roger Rabbit ride. Realized I left it in the ride, went back to the ride, got my phone back because somebody turned it in, but then I promptly went back to my mom, gave her back the phone, and I went, this is too much for me. If that is not the most on-brand thing I did as a 13-year-old. Well, now I don't have that problem anymore because I'm just as addicted to my phone as everybody else is. Character development. My fashion style in middle school was it was like Disney Channel wannabe, but like failing at even being a wannabe. A lot of the kids I went to school with were wearing like Abercrombie and Fitch and Aeropostale, and then like the girls would like brag about how they went to Victoria's Secret after now growing out of their training bra. I was a limited to / justice kind of girl. I loved it. This is the height of luxury. And you know what? I'm only like a little ashamed of it. I'm actually very proud of my style choices. Because the kids who wore Abercrombie and Fitch were monsters. They were monster entitled preteens. And now they can't even get a job at Abercrombie, so life comes at you fast. Also, this may shock you, but I was not a popular person. Wow, what a revelation. I was a popular choice as a verbal punching bag by a few people, but that's about it. You know what, in spite of all this, I'm actually really proud that my middle school experience was so bad. I'm proud of myself for not growing up too early, unlike everybody else. Because back in 2007, 2008, the kids in my grade, they listened to Kanye, watched MTV, and then dressed like trashy teens from 90210. I, in 2007, 2008, listened to the High School Musical soundtracks over and over again, loved Disney Channel, and dressed exclusively in Limited To and Target, nothing else. Friday nights were not spent at basketball games. They were spent eagerly anticipating brand new episodes of Cory in the House. And in addition to that, I could safely say, according to my teachers, that I was one of only the very few who was not a nitwit. And so I say to a random 8th grader that happens to be watching this because they clicked on this by mistake, listen, every rude and awful person you're going to school with right now is going to end up taking your order at Taco Bell or selling you body wraps on Facebook. And one's not really better than the other. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't stress out about other people at your school because they will not really amount to much. Because you're doing just fine and all the others are... And that's the tea. If you like this video, please click the like button and comment and share. I'm here every Wednesday. You can find me on my social media down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Gucci. If you don't know what that's from, then you have to see 8th grade. I mean, you have to see 8th grade either way. If you already saw it once, see it again. I feel like I'm gonna start saying Gucci in like all of my everyday interactions unironically. Oh God.